Hey lovelies, welcome to another pick a card reading, and today's requested topic is about your past life. Now do keep in mind this reading is general, so it's not going to resonate with everyone listening, so only take what resonates, leave what does not. Shout out to my dreamer team for helping to select this topic. If you'd like to join that team to help curate the content that you see on this channel, as well as to receive access to exclusive readings, including 18 plus readings and monthly and yearly zodiac forecasts, you can go ahead and hit the join button beneath this video or the join link in the description box. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can find the link to my website in the description box as well. Follow me on Instagram at Serene Dream Things for guidance, and on the screen are 3 pocket watches. Go ahead and make your choice. If you need more time to make your selection, you can pause the video. But we're going to get started for those who chose pocket watch number 1. Okay, let's get into your past life. I'm hearing animal. I've never heard of this, but this is what I'm channeling. I'm getting that those who chose this group, you were an animal in the past life. I feel that this may be either your first human incarnation ever, or it's the first in a long while. I feel like you've had several cycles as an animal. And I feel that when you were an animal, you were a domesticated animal. I feel like you had a lot of interactions with humans, which is why you were able to incarnate as a human in this life, because you're already familiar with their mannerisms, the way they their thought processes. I feel like you were a very intelligent, advanced animal. I've never heard. I don't know. This is what I'm channeling, so I'm going with it. But yeah, I've never heard of a human being an animal before, or an animal being human before. But that's what I'm getting. So I guess anything is possible. Yeah. Again, I feel like you were a domesticated animal, even if you were an animal that's not like the typical domesticated animal. I feel like you were, because what's coming to mind is this leopard that I come across on Instagram often. She's called Luna the Pantera, and she's an actual black leopard, and she's kept as a pet. And that's not a typical domesticated animal you know so yeah, but she's very domesticated. She plays with her dog brother and everything. Like, she doesn't harm anyone. So yeah, it doesn't matter what you could have been, a typical domesticated animal, because I'm reading from many of you. So some of you were a typical domesticated animal, like a dog, cat, bird, or something like that, and others of you were a more exotic domesticated animal, one that isn't typically domesticated, but you were. And I just get that you had a very high intelligence thanks to your interactions with humans. I feel like you had a very good owner. And while animals typically have shorter lifespans than humans, I feel that it was still short in comparison to a human's life. But I feel like for the lifespan of your species, you lived a long life. And I feel like when you died, I feel like you had one owner. I don't feel like those who resonate with this group, I don't feel like you were the animal, like a family animal. I feel like you were specifically raised and nurtured by one person. Like, this could have been a single person that just, loved their animals, and they could have had more than one animal. You were among them. But yeah, it's like they gave you so much that when you died, I feel like you loved this human so much that that's why you came back as a human. Because I don't know, like I said, you had several cycles as an animal, and I feel that it was this particular cycle that made you say you want to come back as a human, because this human, your owner, was so good to you, that it made you have belief in humanity to say, like, okay, I think I can do the human thing, and I think I can enjoy it. I'm hearing hunter. So maybe in like previous lives is when you were different animals before, you always viewed humans as like these predators, these hunters, these people who these beings that hurt animals for no reason. And this cycle of your life, you were able to see a different side of humanity that made you say like you want to try it out. But yeah, your owner was really, really good to you, and it's like you died blissfully. Like you got everything. This is why your cycle as an animal came to an end, because you feel like you got everything you could have ever hoped for and wanted as an animal in that last life of yours. Yeah, now you wanted something different. You wanted to see, experience life as another species. And I feel like sometimes you see animals, like even if you have no clue about your past life as an animal, I feel that now as you're human, you sometimes see animals and you find yourself missing, like wishing you were like them, or like in a weird way missing that. And you're like, why do I feel like I miss that life? But you have no clue that you were an animal before, but that's why you feel that way. You experienced more bliss and freedom as an animal. Like I feel like you realize that human life came with a lot more restrictions and demands than animals' lives. And a part of you is kind of regretting this decision to want to be, but I feel like it's not all bad. Your human experience has not been all bad. It's just really different. You're not used to it because it's the first time or the first in a long time that you're in a human body. I'm hearing it's okay. Like so far it's going okay. You feel like you haven't really experienced the greatness you were expecting as a human. Like you thought it would be like this next level enjoyment of life, and you're just like, I haven't experienced that yet. I feel like you're gonna get there. But yeah, I feel like a big part of you is I don't know, I feel like you may enjoy like the money, like the freedom that comes with money, the things you're able to do on your own. It's like you love the freedom and the autonomy you have as a human, but at the same time, I feel like you experience a lot of loneliness that you didn't experience as an animal, because you always had like other animals around. Like I said, your owner didn't have just one animal. So you were able to like, commune with other animals, and in previous lives when you were in the wild possibly, not everybody, but you had like a pack. You had, a group of animals to be around and commune with. You had a community. And I feel that as a human, you haven't found a community yet. And so you experience a lot of loneliness that you weren't expecting. I feel that you're able to see things like you were saying your owner like, wow, they're everything I would want to be. Like they're so kind, they're so nurturing. But it's like being human now, you're able to see that your owner could have been very lonely because there was no one else around, no other humans around this person. It was just them and their animals. And you thought that that was the life, that this is everything that you could ever want, that you didn't see the loneliness that your owner felt. But I feel like looking back, you're just like, I get it now. I get like how they must have felt with no one around. Like, how do people live like this? But you do appreciate, while I say you were a very intelligent species, even as an animal, like more intelligent than the average of your species, but I feel that you do appreciate that your intelligence is beyond what it was as an animal. Like you have a deeper sense, a deeper knowing, um, a deeper connection to the divine, possibly. Like you're able to communicate your thoughts very, like, more intelligently. Um, so I feel like you do appreciate that part, but you're just kind of like, okay, when do we get to the good part of like this fun I was expecting as a human? Like it's not all bad, like I said, but you're just like You miss the community that you had as an animal. You haven't found that yet so far in your lifetime, but I feel that for a number of you who chose this group, you could still be pretty young. So, yeah, you have some time to go. You could get there. But yeah, that's what I get for those who chose pocket watch number 1. Let's go ahead and get into those who chose pocket watch number 2. Give me a moment to timestamp. Okay, so your past life. I'm picking up a young boy energy that was very fierce. Almost like it's like I'm picking up this boy energy that was maybe training to be a soldier, or they aspired to be some kind of soldier or militant person. I don't feel like they ever got there though. You could have died as a teenager. Yeah, I feel like you were around. I don't know if maybe the men in your family were like I'm hearing commanders, like they were some kind of militant people. They worked in the military. I do get that. And I feel that you had a lot of military influence around you, which influenced you to like almost train for that your whole life. Like since you were extremely small, I feel that you all you wanted to do was be like a soldier, you know, be like the men in your family. And I felt that you were on your way to like officially training to officially enter that space of being officially like a soldier of some sort. But I feel that your life was cut short. I feel like you were in the training phase and you never got to the full experience that you had been, in a sense, training your whole life for. Something happened to you suddenly. I feel like you had a very quick death, one that you weren't expecting. Like it came out of nowhere. I feel like your death shocked everyone. And I feel like you died in such a, maybe like a random way. Like I'm getting the Beetlejuice movie when the guy he killed his parents, and as he was trying to run away from the cops, he fell from the tree and broke his neck. Something like that. Not saying, you killed anybody, but I get like your death could have been so random, like you were just doing something, fell, hit your head and just like, you know, hit the temple and die instantly. Something, it was so random. It happened so quick. I feel like you didn't feel any pain because it happened so quickly, but your death definitely shocked everyone around you. I feel like you were mourned for a long time for what you could have been. I feel that your father or grandfather in particular, like I'm seeing them like hold a picture. Um, I'm hearing like military academy. So maybe you were in an academy at the time of your death. Cause I'm seeing you like in like the uniform, but not like as an official soldier. It's like they're looking at a picture of you in like some kind of uniform and they're like weeping. And this guy is really old. That's why I said a father or grandfather. It could be your father, and he's like, he mourned you even into his old age, until he died. But he always thought about the potential of his son, what you could have been, like what you were going to be. Like there was so much promise. And that's why you were mourned so heavily, because everybody saw that, like they saw what you were gonna become. Like they felt like it was you were destined for this. And a lot of hopes could have been riding on you that you were gonna be, this great figure beyond, although like I said, you had people in your family who were maybe already in the military, they were expecting you to go beyond where they reached. They felt like you had it in you to like carry the family name into excellence. And I feel that you really carried that on your back so heavily, which may have resulted in this sudden random death, because maybe there was too much pressure on you and that didn't need to be there. It's almost like you died to be freed from that pressure. And then you were able to come back in another life, this life, and experience like a more have more freedom to choose your own path and not feel the pressure to go a specific way. Like in this life, you might be feeling lost, like you don't know what the hell to do. But I feel that compared to your last life, it's a blessing because at least you have the choice to do whatever it is you want to do without somebody being on your back telling you who you need to be. A lot of the reason you thought in the past life that you wanted to be a soldier is because the pressure, they were always telling you, you have those parents that like put it in their kids' heads that they're going to go to a certain school, that they're going to have a certain career before the child is even conscious to understand like anything about themselves. They've already put these expectations on this child and they beat it in their head so much that the child grows up and they start to think like that is what they want to do, and it's something that they chose for themselves, but it wasn't. I feel that that was your situation in the past life. You didn't choose your path. Your path was chosen for you by your family. You were pressured into it, but you took it on with pride and you wanted to deliver, on this hope that was riding on you. You wanted to be everything that your family wanted you to be. And that's why you had to be taken from that, because that's not the way you were meant to live. And I feel that you would have never deviated from that path. Sometimes people will like eventually wake up and say like, I never wanted to do this. You wanted this for me. You chose this for me. I want to do something else. I feel like you would have never deviated from that path because you had a soldier mentality to just like follow orders. So yeah, um that's why your life was cut so short. Like I said, you have the freedom now to be whoever you want to be. And like I said, even though you may feel lost right now, it's a blessing because you're eventually going to figure it out. Or you could be a person who you tried out many things and maybe you get on yourself or you frustrate yourself saying like you can't find yourself sticking to anything, but that's a blessing because these are all the things you didn't get to experience in your past life. You never got the chance to try something else out. You never got a chance to just be lost and look at all the directions that you may possibly want to go. The options are available for you in this life that weren't available for you in that life. You don't have that pressure anymore. So I feel like this life is like a blessing to you. It may not feel like it right now because you don't have everything figured out. But trust me, compared to your past life, this is a blessing. You have so much room here to be exactly what you choose to be and live a really fulfilling life. Okay? So that's all I have for those who chose pocket watch number 2. Let's get into those who chose pocket watch number 3. Give me a moment to timestamp. Okay, so for those who chose pocket watch number 3, what was your past life? I feel this group, you are a woman who had many men competing for your love, for your attention. Like many, many suitors. And you could have entertained more than a few of them. But I feel that you never like tied yourself down like that. I feel like you could have even been married multiple times, but it wasn't something that I feel that you kind of just didn't take the whole love and dating thing that seriously. I feel like you did things just to please yourself in the moment. Like if you were with somebody ask you to marry them and then you just kind of felt in the moment like, I guess that'll be fun. And then you did it, but then like you may have divorced, shortly after because like, oh, this isn't fun anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. Bye. Then you move on to the other. You yeah, I just feel like you didn't really take love and dating very seriously, even marriage, because I do feel like you could have been married like a few times at least. That wasn't your priority. It was like you enjoyed the attention. I'm hearing the luxury. So these men could have been spoiling you with the gifts. And you just kind of relished in that without getting too attached to any one person. You more so just enjoyed the attention. I'm getting like Marilyn Monroe energy. Not necessarily because I know she had her issues, but it's just the how men fawned over her and she had her pick of the litter. Like I'm getting more so like the characters she played in movies where the men would fawn over her and she just kind of like, you know, played with them, you know? I get that's really what you were like that, but in real life, you yeah, it was like men near and far, like everywhere you went. You could have been a woman who traveled a lot. I feel like you had a career in the spotlight somehow, which allowed you to travel because I feel like you had international lovers and suitors. Like everywhere you touched down, you had men reacting the same way. You know how like typically in every country there's like a different standard of beauty. And I feel that for you, the way you looked superseded, even if you didn't look like the typical expectation of what they perceive to be the standard of beauty, is like you had this aura about you that just drew people in despite that. So yeah, I feel like wherever you touched down, you had men fawning over. Oh, I'm hearing women too. You had men and women fawning over you, like falling all over you in the set. Like everybody had the same. Everybody was so attracted to you. Women who didn't even ever think themselves to be gay, like you made them question themselves. Like maybe I want to try this out. Yeah. But yeah, you were very clear that you were attractive, very, very beautiful, gorgeous, I'm hearing. And you leaned into that. You got whatever you want. You got whatever you wanted. You did things that people could only dream of. You dated people that people only dreamt of dating. Like I'm getting that saying your fantasy is my reality. So like you dated superstars. I feel like you were a star and you dated other superstars, but you also dated like regular people too. It's just whatever you felt like in the moment. You had your pick of the litter, like I said, and you sampled many flavors. I feel like you died tragically and maybe pretty young. I want to say somewhere close to 40, if not 40. You could have had an issue with drugs. Yeah, I'm hearing drug dependency. That could have been what that also could have contributed to you living this wild, fast life. You could have been dependent on drugs, substances that altered your thinking and made you just want to live young, wild, and free and not have a care in the world. There could have been people who actually wanted to really settle down with you and take you seriously, but I just feel like you never wanted to be tied down to any one person. You did what you felt in the moment, and that was it. It's like it wasn't a long life, but it was very fun while it lasted. The funny thing is, I feel like when you died, you didn't have any regrets. It's like it's like you had this it's like I'm getting this message like you're like, okay, I did all that in that life. I had all the glamour, all the things, all the love, attention, people. I had all this stuff. And you're like, okay, I don't regret that. I got to experience that. And it's like you're saying, it's like I hear you saying, okay, next time I come back as a boring old maid. So yeah, it's like in this life you could be somebody like way more low key. Your life could be super normal, super regular. But that's like what you signed up for because you lived so young, wild, fast, and free in the previous life, and you got all that out your system. So you're like, oh, I guess in this life I'll slow down and actually be more serious and settle down. And you could be married or on your way to being. You could have a family. I'm hearing Madre. Somebody could be Latina. I just get that, yeah, you're really in your settled energy in this life, but you were anything but settled in the previous life. You lived a very fast, glamorous, fun life. And like I said, you died with no regrets. Although you did not live for very long, you're like, you did so much in the years that you were alive. You're just like, what I would have did in my old age anyway. It would have got boring. So I'm happy I went out when I did. Yeah, I feel like drug overdose is coming through very strongly. If not drug overdose, because I'm reading from many of you, drug overdose or accident, like car accident. I'm getting one of the two was your cause of death. Oh my gosh, this is that just hit me out of nowhere. I feel like the reason you didn't really care too much and didn't really care to be attached like that in a previous life because you have a person, you have a soul that you're attached to like eternally. And I feel that in that particular life, you all didn't incarnate together. So you just like, what's the point? I'm not committed. These people are not my person. I'm just going to have fun. This life, your person and you could have incarnated together. So that's why you chose like to be all settled and quote unquote boring in this life because you're like, I can do that with them. But you didn't really see yourself or feel that you could do that with anybody else. So whenever they didn't incarnate with you were just like, I'm just going to enjoy life for everything else it has to offer because, like, I'm not going to experience real love with any of these people. So, yeah, that's why you chose to be like that way in the previous life. And even why I feel like you chose to die early. Like, I feel like somehow you have a lot of control over, like, how your lives go. I don't know who you are like spiritually. I don't know who you are, but I feel like you have a lot of say and input on like the kind of life you want to live in each incarnation. And I feel that you chose that life. Like when you found out that your person was not going to incarnate with you, it was like, okay, well, make me a starlet, or make me a person who was attached to. Because not all of you were a starlet. I feel like if you either you had fame on your own or you were attached to many people who had fame and influence and as a result, it's like you could have been a little known because of it, because your name was always attached to these people. But yes, one of the two, because like I said, I'm reading from multiple of you, so some of you could fall on the spectrum of like being a starlet yourself and connecting to other stars and influential people, powerful people, or it could be that you were a normal girl who like, you know, was kind of taken from obscurity into fame through someone you dated, but you dated around like several people after that. It's like you kept connecting with more influential, powerful, famous people. But yeah, it's like you got into that fast life either way. It was you lived a very reckless life, but like I said, you have no regrets. You chose to die early because like you say, your person was not in that life with you. You're just like, I don't have to be here very long. I'm just experiencing this. I can go because next life, me and my person are going to be together. So, yeah, you got all that fun out of your system. I feel like if you find yourself living a quote unquote boring life in this life, I don't feel that you're miserable about it. Like, you're actually fine with the calmness and stillness of this life. And even though you may not have known about your past life, it's just something, I don't know, intuitively you feel that you needed this peace and calmness this time around. And yeah, now you know why. Okay? So that's about all I have for you all for this past life reading, for this pick a card reading about your past life. And I hope it was helpful. Again, shout out to my Dreamer team if you would like to join that team to help curate the content that you see on this channel, as well as to receive access to exclusive readings, including 18 plus readings a monthly and yearly zodiac forecast. You can hit the join button beneath this video or the join link in the description box. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can find the link to my website in the description box below as well. Follow me on Instagram at Serene Dream Things for guidance, and I'll be back with more readings soon, lovelies. Bye.